Welcome to Storm Shelter Cinema at Arlington High School, the movie review show where if it ain't broke, we'll break it down. Today we'll be reviewing The Platform, which was released in 2019 and directed by Galder Gaztelu Urrutia. I'm Rebecca Spencer, and I'm joined today by my co-host Connor Crew.
The Platform begins when our main character, Go-Ring, wakes up in a prison cell block adjacent area that homes a giant hole in the middle of every cell. Through the questioning of his experienced roommate and flashbacks, he understands that this place is a prison of sorts. Through the middle, a platform appears to be going throughout the whole place, with remnants of food on the platform. The only problem is that as the platform goes down, the more ransacked and disgusting the food gets, due to the feral nature of those in the prison, until eventually there is nothing left. Go-Ring attempts to find a way to try to break this cycle and escape without completely dehumanizing himself and without the harm of others, though this task is not as easy as it seems.
The implicit meaning of this film is mainly a criticism of modern society. The movie points out how upper-class society, or people on the higher platforms, are selfish and don't care about the needs of those less fortunate than them. In the movie, when the platform comes down, it has enough food to be able to feed every single level. However, the higher platforms are always selfish and greedy and eat way too much and trash the platform. By the time the platform reaches the lower levels, there's no food left and people are forced to starve for a month. This reflects many societal structures, including America. There are many rich people in the country, but also a lot more people that are less fortunate. How many of those rich people use their wealth to benefit others, and how many of them are content and greedy on their higher platforms?
The formal element that spoke the most to me was the editing and lighting throughout the film. Through the film, we see a lot of tense moments are shown in quick succession through cuts and peculiar lighting. Some cuts are used to emphasize certain important things in the film. There are lots of moments in the film that showcase just that. One that comes to mind are the scenes that showcase Go-Ring's descent into madness. During those scenes, it cleverly showcases a passage of time that would be hard to show otherwise, and also shows what Go-Ring is going through with quick cuts showcasing his mental turmoil, flashing the faces of his deceased cellmates while hearing their voices and faces merge and pull in and out of reality. Through the editing, lighting, even camera angles, it really makes the viewer feel what he feels at the time. All in all, it's a really brilliant scene.
I have conflicting feelings about this movie. On the one hand, I'm a sucker for a good moral. This movie is one that I would like everyone to see at least once, if only to gain insight into how society is so flawed. This was also such a unique concept and felt very dystopian. I loved how they portrayed the brutality of humanity, from the selfishness when it came to food, doing whatever it takes to survive, even if it means eating another person, then to the mother willing to murder anyone in her way to find her child. On the other hand, I did find this movie slow or boring in some parts. It was just a bit too much gore for my taste. How our main character willingly chose to enter the platform will always astound me. Even if it was to quit smoking, go to a normal rehab center, not a death pit, you insane psychopath. Overall, while some choices in the movie had me confused, I did enjoy watching it and it kept me entertained throughout most of it. What did you think about the movie?
I thought that the movie was really cool. I did like it a lot. I've heard a lot about it. It was extremely confusing, I think. Well, not extremely confusing, but it
Some
wasn't
parts were.
the easiest to understand and dissect. But I liked the acting a lot. It was dubbed over. I don't know if the original was in Spanish or...
I think it was Spanish, yeah.
But I kind of wish I went back and watched that version because the dubbed over version was a little silly at times, I felt. But I liked it. I thought that the editing and stuff was cool.
Yeah, it was good. I was talking to my mom before I started watching it saying like, oh, I have to watch this for school. And she looked at me kind of shocked being like, that's a movie they want you to watch for school? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, it's very violent. And I thought, we watch violent movies all the time. What do you mean? And then I watched it and I was like, this is very violent.
It's very violent.
It was, I felt the violence kind of did add to it though. Like I wasn't necessarily upset about it, but it's still a little violent.
Yeah, my brother watched it a while back and he was actually about to start talking about it. We were going to watch it for a movie night and I told him he couldn't. I do think though that the violence, I don't know, sometimes it kind of felt like too much, like it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of did it for shock
Especially
factor.
with the dog.
Yeah,
Especially with the dog.
A lot
Poor
of
dog.
it was...
Yeah. The ending.
Oh yeah.
The ending kind of, I didn't like the ending at all very much.
I thought...
Did he just walk off into the darkness to starve?
I kind of assumed it was him dying. Like the platform didn't really go down that far.
It wasn't clear. That's the worst part about it.
It's not. I didn't really mind that. I know that there is a second movie. So.
Yeah.
maybe.
That's one other thing. Like, they sent the child up as a symbol of sorts, but then there's still a second movie. Did they get the symbol? Did they ignore the symbol? Did they kill the child anyway? What happened with the child?
It's a very interesting movie.
Yeah. I was also kind of mad. How would the child survive going up that fast? Like, it was the G-forces on that.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
It was not good.
Well, thank you for joining us today on Storm Shelter Cinema. We reviewed The Platform, released in 2019 and directed by Galder Gaztelu Urrutia. I'm Connor Crew, and I love the movie. My co-host Rebecca Spencer loved the movie as well. So that's 2 thumbs up from us. We'll see you next time at the movies.